Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Bearded Fortech. I hope everybody's having a great day. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. Today we're going to be installing a catch can from Mishimoto onto my 2019 Ford Ranger. So this catch can goes, I have to unplug the starter. This is the driver's side fender well. I got to unplug the starter and then try to get in here where you can see. So unplug the starter, and then I'm going to move this coolant hose connection. I don't know if you can see that up there. I don't have to undo the coolant hose, just a little connection right there. Move the coolant hose out of the way. If you see this hose right along the back, right there, it's like a perforated hose, runs, curls up and goes this way. That's what we're taking out. That is goes to the oil separator that is built onto the truck, which is that black piece back there. So big shout out to CariD for sending this to me. Here's the hoses, here's the fittings that go onto the catch can, here's the mounting bracket and the screws, and the actual catch can will mount up here under this plastic, so we'll have to remove that. But first we got to do the hard part. We got to get the hoses and feed them up through the engine bay, and let's get started with that. So I'm going to show you something on these hoses here, and it does come with zip ties and hose clamps so you can zip tie it up out of the way. I want to show you there's two different hoses, the distinct hoses. One has a 90-degree, one is straight. The 90-degree is the one that we're going to do first. So let's move you back over here to the truck, and we're going to start taking that apart. I hope you guys are going to be able to see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to use a pick, and I'm going to unplug that electrical connector right there. Just undo the lock like that, and then just unplug the connector, push in on it, pull back. All you got to do. Push in, pull back, and just tuck it over here out of the way. Let's not forget to plug that back in though. All right, and then up top, you probably can't see it, but there's that little, it's just a little push clip for this coolant hose. You can do this without breaking the coolant hose. Just push it through with your finger. Grab the hose. Or you can just get a pair of pliers, or you can squeeze it. Just squeeze both sides of it, like that, and pull it through. It's a tight fit. Push it. There we go. And that gives me room. Oh, I can't see because the light's on. I'm just moving the coolant hose. See if I can stick this in here somewhere else. I know it's hard to see, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. So now I dropped my light so you guys can't see anything at all. Stick my hand up in here, get this hose out of the way. I'm going for the backside of this hose here. There it is. And I'll show you how to release this once I get it off. And that 90-degree hose I was telling you about, that's where that one's going. I just had you released. What the hell? There it goes. There's one end. The other end's up here. I know there's a fender in the way, guys. I'm sorry. Come on. They really don't want you to get in there though. You get it released, like I just did, and then it doesn't want to release. There it is. Man, this thing wanted to fight. See the hose wiggling? That's the one we're going for. Finally. It's unclipped, the hose is out. I just gotta pull it out of there. Yeah, all that. It's one of those. There's not a whole lot of junk inside of it, but whatever. Now, the one with the 90-degree, I got to feed up and it's going to connect back there. And the very back. Hey, that might work. So there's the top. I'm going for the back one, which is Can't see. Right there. That red one. Just stick that in there like that. See that red one back there? But I gotta feed this up. Not really a easy way to feed this bad boy up in there. There we go. It's making its way. Sort of. Sort of making its way, sort of. Give me a step stool so I can see up top. So you're gonna need a little bit of patience to do this, especially this part right here, where we're at. Now, oh, that hose is up here. All right, that hose is in right there. It's connected up underneath there. It runs up, comes out right here. So it runs down there. Now I gotta run the other one. And then it's gonna connect right there. Okay. See if I can turn this so you guys can see. There's the hose, goes to the back, and then here's my hose, and it connects up top right there. Right there. So now, put my coolant line back in there. Like that. Plug my starter back in. That. Put my shield back in. Wow, that was a tight spot. Jeez. That was a really tight spot. I'm sure if I'd done more of these, it wouldn't be so bad. But again, thanks to CariD for sending this to me. Apparently this catch can's really good. Just the install process is not that fun. Supposedly about an hour and a half. I'm only about 15, 20 minutes in. So stick my little panel popper back in. My push pin that doesn't want to go in. and get my tire back on, and I'm gonna lower the truck down. All right, see my two hoses? There's the 90-degree, that's because it goes this way. They run down there, and what I'll do is I'll put a zip tie on them, and then I'll zip tie them up out of the way. That way they're not rubbing on anything, and then everything will be good to go. But we got to take this off. So let's get this off. Take these little popper rivets out. We don't want to lose them because you're going to reuse them. And the catch can is going right here in the corner. It's going to stay up out of the way. So while I'm taking this out, let's talk about catch cans. Do I recommend them? Absolutely. First of all, let's talk about what is a catch can. A catch can is a device that catches all the oil vapors that are a byproduct of the positive crank ventilation. So when those oil vapors get heavy, they go through that separator, and then they go into the intake to be burned. That in turn bakes onto your intake valves. And a direct injected engine, you can't clean that out with just normal fuel additives. You can spray through the throttle body with, like Amsoil Power Foam or something like that, and that helps. But no, I'll find that in just a second. I dropped that right down here. I gotta take this off anyway, so we'll find it. So we want to reduce that as much as possible. So what that does is it goes in through the hose now, and then once those vapors get heavy enough, they will fall into the can and, wow, that one landed on the cowl, and send air. Instead of oily air, it sends air into the intake. So the oil vapors get heavy, they fall into the can, after 1,000 miles or so, 500 to 1,000 miles, you want to check it and empty it out when it gets full. And that's going to vary. Ouch. Now I'm poking myself, now I'm bleeding. And that's going to vary by driver of how often you should empty it, because everybody's different. And I need a flathead screwdriver. Everybody's different. So everybody will not fill up, we'll say 500 miles. Everybody's isn't going to be 500 miles. You got to go empty that thing. It may be 1,000 miles. It may be 500 miles. It may be 1,500 miles. It may be 2,000 miles. You just have to keep checking it. My rule of thumb is about every 500 miles, take a look at it. I want to grab this and pop it up. This is the pain part that I hate. Plastic. Cringe every time I do this. Hey, we didn't break any. And there's my piece that I dropped for my push pin. So let's get the can. The can is going to go right here. I wonder if I can mount you guys somewhat closer so you can see that. It's dirty. Well, you guys can see that. And I was talking about the oil vapors go inside the can. This is the can. Very nice can. Push the limits. And it is a baffled can. And you would just dump it out. So let's put these are 17mm fittings. Man, they wrap these things really good. It's a really nice product. I just don't like running those hoses, man. $17 and no, they don't have to be god awful tight. Just snug them. That's it. Snug. Look, it stopped turning. That's it. That's it. That's all you gotta do. This is gonna mount just like that with my hardware bag. Two nuts, two washers, and two bolts. Oh, it's got a piece of, almost had that upside down. Did you see that? Like that. Like that. Stick my little fingers up in here. And see if we can do this without dropping the nut. I'm in your way, I do apologize. That's a tight spot right there. Man. Oh wait, what size is this? I don't even know what size this bad boy is. Help if I knew that, huh? Probably a 10. Everything's always a 10. Yep, it's a 10. Push it all the way back. And I think that's a 4 Allen, but I'm using the forks. Yeah, I said it. I'm using the Torx. And then we got to take the lid, take the little screws out of it. Bam. And these are even smaller. Holy. That's tiny, tiny, tiny. Wow. Little. But look, I got something to fit. I only have an Allen that small, but a T10 works. That thing's tiny. Set you right there. Set you right there. When you put this on, this is going to face toward the passenger side. So my 90-degree hose can go on that, which is the inlet side. Then it'll fall down, and then that'll go, and then it goes back to the intake. Some tedious little screws right there. See how I got that? Faces that way. So my 90-degree hooks onto it. The 90-degree is the inlet. That's where all the pressure is coming from. That's where all the oil vapors are going to come from. They're going to go through, then fall down into the can. Clean air is going to pass through this hose, which goes back down to the bottom of the intake, which was those two hoses, or that hose that you saw me trying to take out. That was a pain in the butt. Snug this down. We're almost done. We're almost done. Ain't gotta be too tight. And I should have some hose clamps and right here. Hose clamps. And then the zip ties. And put my cowl back on. That's probably an 8. Oh, I got it in my hand. That's an 8. You are not an 8. You are a 7. Tighten these hose clamps. And once I tighten these, I'll probably back that up a little bit. Then we'll put my cowl, well, I'll zip tie all that, get it out of the way. Put my cowl back on. Put my can on there. Can't forget that, huh? Can't forget the most important part, the can. It catches everything. You know, the catch can. The catch can. Once again, I want to thank CariD for sending this out to me, wanting me to review it. That's it, tight, hand tight. I will leave a link in the description where you can check out their website. They always have deals going on stuff. Probably wouldn't hurt to check out what they got going on. Always something going on. They always have discounts going on. If you remember my power stop brakes when I did those, same people sent them to me. And those things, I like those. They're great. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt when you're down there and you couldn't really see what I was doing. It's a really tight spot. But as always, I appreciate you guys sticking around, checking out the videos. If you got any questions, feel free to send me an email, a comment, and I will respond back to you. But do I recommend a catch can? Yes, I do. Okay, well, that's it. It's installed. I hope you had fun watching me struggle to take this out, put the new hose in. Everything's routed. Catch can is in its place. I just have to clip these zippy ties right quick to make it look a little bit more clean. And all in all, like, installing this thing, it's not too bad. Not too bad. It's that stupid getting the hose off. That's what makes it a pain, because it's in a very, very, very tight spot. But if you got some patience, you can get it done. But remember how this comes off. You have to literally feel in there blindly, and this pushes over. And it's going to be like that on both sides. So if you're facing it like this is going to be on the top. That's going to be on the bottom. And you're trying to get in there. Then you have to route your new hoses in. Let me show you what they look like. Alright, so there's my can. It's got very hidden. Hoses run down. And then one goes straight. The other one kind of curves off right there. Right there. Curves, goes down. The other one goes to the back. And yeah, that thing right there is a pain in the butt. So with that being said, the install is done. I appreciate you guys hanging around. Thank you to CariD for sending this to me. You guys are awesome whenever you send me things. And I greatly appreciate it. I will leave a link in the description of this video where you can go check out their website. They always have deals going on. About 500 miles, I'll check this, see what kind of gunk it's catching up inside there and empty it. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one.